Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well today. Today I want to talk to you about a different kind of a video. This is how reviewers are sometimes inadvertently unhelpful. And it's something to put nicely. I've been wanting to make this video for 5 years. I did already make a video about reviewers and should you put all your stock into what reviewers say? Should you base your decision? Do you wait to base your decision on that? So there'll be a slight bit of that in here, but for the most part, this is the unhelpful nature of reviewers. Although they're trying to be helpful, I think you'll agree with me on at least one, if not all, of these points coming up. Alright, so before I get into this, I want to say that I'm probably guilty of most stuff on this list anyway, and I try to make a conscious attempt to not do these things that are inadvertently unhelpful. But I'm still going to talk about it anyway. And the best way to talk about anything or get this out in the open is discuss it and have a discussion about it. So I do want to point out I'm guilty too. So I'm not calling anyone out. But the first thing is that most reviewers do mostly reviews. What they mostly do is review stuff. None of us are exactly consumer reports though. We just give our opinion on it. We haven't tested these things 58,000 times, all that kind of stuff. We're just opening it, maybe transforming it, giving our opinion, our view on these things, and kind of moving on down the road. So that may not sounds innocent and is helpful, and hey, that's really helpful that somebody did a review, and it is a lot of the times, but it could be a little deceptive there. There's very little discussion amongst some reviewers. I mean, a lot of people, they will just be somewhat impartial, at the end of it say, hey, I like it, or whatever, but that kind of is not a discussion. I try to have a little mini discussion inside of each one of my reviews to just kind of say what's surrounding this figure, this character, what were the opportunities, what have I heard other people saying about this, kind of make it a little bit more than just a review. Now, my reviews do lag the market because I do get my stuff from Show Z. It generally comes a few weeks later than US retailers just because the way it's all set up. And I'm perfectly fine with that. And then, another one of these things is that reviewers, they always want to get it and be first. Now, I got to say, I'm not usually the first. Like I said, I lag the market, but I do try to kind of throw good points that are out there, throw them out there. But when these people come out and they get it first, they have actually pre-ordered this stuff. They know they're going to get it without a doubt. They're not waiting for other people to review it. They're not waiting for other people's opinions. They are going to get this. They're going to review it, whether they like it or not. And in all reality, 90% of the stuff we pay for out of pocket. It's our stuff that we bought with our own money. We wanted it, and if we say something negative about it, or if a reviewer dislikes something, well, they're disliking something they spent their own money on. And I'm not going to quite go into that part of it, but if somebody gets something for free, they're usually a little bit nicer about it. There's usually a little bit less of a critical eye on the item, on the product, on the quality, on the paint, the aesthetic, and all that kind of stuff. There's a bit of a pass being given in a way for the stuff that people get for free. Now, the fact that people do reviews and they pre-order this stuff, they've got theirs, there's absolutely zero incentive for the average reviewer to go back and look and see, is this still in stock? Is this a figure that's going up on the secondary market? Is this thing on sale now? I do that because it's kind of one of the things I look for in my news, and sometimes, a couple times a year, I do like to see what's skyrocketed in price and do a video about it. But literally, the other, 8-9 months out of the year, I'm not really looking at the secondary market very hard on this stuff, and it's because of all of those things. If I want it, I pre-order it. I do my review, I go about my business. I've got 4 or 5 more reviews I still need to work on, and so I don't have time really to just go searching for this. You know who has time to search for this kind of stuff? The people who are actively collecting it, and they've watched the reviews and they say, oh, now I want to get it because several reviewers say it's good, and then it's sold out. So that's one of the things that's kind of inadvertently unhelpful, is the fact that we all get our reviews out, and yeah, there are some recommendations. I generally like to say in my reviews also that I would jump on this if you really want this, because I think for like this punch counterpunch, it was a $100 figure. I think it's worth every bit of $100. A lot of reviewers were complaining about it. We're going to get into that too, because that's another major issue. But a lot of reviewers complained about this. I had really no issues with mine. I think it's a fantastic figure. It looks amazing, and no one else is going to make this figure, if not for a long time. and starting to see it sell out at places. Not everywhere. It's still available to get, but eventually this will be impossible to get. The next one I want to talk about is getting behind on comments or not commenting at all or not reading the comments. I believe I've read every single comment, but I haven't replied to all of them because I want to give it the time that it deserves. And I read my comments kind of on my phone, and then I turn back around, and when I get time on a computer to type it out, it's a much better way to reply to comments, in my opinion. Maybe there's an easier way on the phone, but I just don't like doing all that on the phone. But I like being efficient and reading when I'm out there. And I have fun reading the comments. I learn a lot from the comments. And also, some people give me some tips, like you can get something cheaper here. And I love all that. I love all of that. I wish I could be 100% on comments, but I'm going to try to get closer to that. But other reviewers, they don't reply to comments anymore. It is a lot. It's time consuming. But I do think most reviewers read every comment. And so that's helpful. And one of the comments I got this past week was, don't jump in on the MMC if you've got the Starblade for the Iron Trans Star Saber, because that wouldn't scale with it as well as the X-Trans bots, but we don't have any update on X-Trans bots. I mean, there's some great comments out there. I could probably do a whole video listing this week's best comments, because there's so many great comments every week. But I think a lot of reviewers want to reply to them. They want to engage more, but it's a time factor, and it is a challenge. The next thing I want to say is that reviewers recommend what they like. And whether it's just because the character is really cool, or it had some sort of an impact on them when they were a kid, or it's just something that they've always wanted, they want to support it one way, shape, or form, they want to see the line continue, or whatever. There's a lot of reasons why reviewers would recommend something. Now, whether or not that actually helps, but if one reviewer or a couple reviewers say that these Omnibots are amazing, which I kind of think they are, and I love the first one we've gotten so far, was it Overdrive? And we got 2 more on the way. I look forward to them. There's others that bash those and said negative things about those, or broke them, or something along those lines. And here's the other thing. If a reviewer breaks something, that's a good thing. That everybody in the community knows to watch out for that part, watch out for that procedure, see what they did to break it so they don't break theirs. I mean, that's actually a good thing, breakage. I didn't even want to talk about that so much in this video because that's a whole video on its own. But if somebody's recommending something that they really like, are they going to move the needle on the same aspect here on the other end of this? If they don't recommend it, they say stay away from this at all costs, is that going to hurt the product too? It's possible to go both ways. Now, I want to kind of point this here out. So a lot of reviewers bashed this Jansen figure. This is X-Transbots, and I feel like I've said a lot about this 2 years ago when it happened, and then I've kind of quieted off, and now I feel like it's a good time to bring it back up. So this Jansen figure, I think it's coming up for a reissue or something like that. I think it's a great figure. I'm happy I got it. It's an awesome one. I think the Fans Toys one is slightly better, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If I didn't have the Fans Toys one and this was on the shelf, I wouldn't feel any different about it, really. But I have both, and I have both on the shelf. And side by side, just a slight bit for the Fans Toys. But so many people bash this. Now, this thing comes with some extra little figure accessories and all that kind of stuff. Is really cool what they included with it. And I think it's a great value for what it was back then. I don't know if the new price is going to be any higher, but it's really cool. They're making the toy version, but this version's no longer being available. Then we get into, of course, the likes and dislikes on subtle nuances. We can all pretty much assume that we know what we're going to get with Fans Toys. And we, for the most part, know what we're going to get with X-Transbots. We know what we're going to get with MMC. And then there's some offshoots that we don't 100% know if we're going to get that, how it's going to turn out, if it's going to be any good, will it be die-cast, will it be paint, all this kind of stuff. But we know now kind of where we stand with these big three. Takara is still a big question mark what they're going to do going forward. But this Fans Toys March, now this is a whole other subtle nuance of it. Like, there are people out there that are saying, hey, I do not like the idea that there's going to be a bot inside of armor. And that is a big problem for some people. So there's reviewers out there that say they don't like this. They don't like the bot inside of armor. And I've heard it over and over and over. But I find it's going to be funny that people that have said that in the past are probably going to love this Fans Toys or make great comments about the Fans Toys one. It's an interesting idea that something they didn't like in the past gets made now because it's made by Fans Toys. They're going to approve of the whole idea of a bot inside of armor, which I like. I don't have a problem with at all. But I do think it's going to be a bit bulkier than what we got with X-Trans bots, which transforms as kind of an all-in-one transformation, not a bot inside of armor. Either way, I really don't care. I don't even have a preference. I guess I do prefer the bot inside of armor a bit, but I also prefer proper perspective, proper proportions a lot more. And lastly, I just want to end on this. I think that a lot of reviewers, they take their reviews very serious, and we all got to remember it still needs to be fun. And I find myself falling into that. I've got 5 things I want to review, and let's bang it out, bang it out, bang it out. And when I find that I'm not having fun with the video, I find the viewers aren't having fun watching it. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So I've got to make sure I'm conscious that I'm not going to make this review if I'm not having fun doing it. I'm going to wait till I'm having fun doing it. I've got the time and I can enjoy it, because I really think it shows in a review whether or not you're just trying to get through it real fast or you're trying to have some fun with this new figure that you got. And I think that shows. And I can't really speak for anyone else on this topic other than myself. And I could say that if I go back and watch one of my videos, I could tell what mindset I was in and was I having fun with it, because the ones I had fun with, I think people like the most. So I need to wrap this up. There's a lot of great reviewers out there, and a lot of reviewers way better than me. I think I have more fun with discussion videos, but I do like reviewing things, and I do like showing off all of the different figures that come in, and I've got some crazy stuff planned. I've got some stuff planned, and I think that I'm going to start doing things that nobody else does in a few of these reviews, because I really think that that's what people want, and I'm giving people what they want. Some stuff coming up. I'm not going to give it away because people copy all that, but what do you guys think about this topic? Do you notice what I'm talking about? Do you agree with every single point? Do you agree with some points, a half a point? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, I did get all these pictures from showzstore.com. And if you want to go over there, if you make a purchase of anything, TH Reviewer Code helps the channel out. Like, subscribe, and Tiberium Hanger out.
Shuttle base, stand by now.
It's changed its direction to 30 degrees just now.
Fuel tanks. Report to Commander Rodimus Prime now. Reconnaissance, let's go.